Evening and welcome to Tuesday's Encounters from New York. This program is presented every Tuesday at 7 p.m. New York time, live on Zoom and Facebook. My name is Mark Beecher. I'll be your host tonight. Our very special guest tonight is Carla Almanza to discuss the vegan lifestyle as Viva la Vegan. Carla runs a lifestyle shop in Mexico where she provides vegan supplies and advice to her devoted customers. So welcome, Carla, and how are you tonight? Okay, Carla, we need to open your microphone.
Oh, here we go. Can you hear me
Yes.
now?
Very good.
Hello,
yes.
everyone. Thank you, Mark. Thank you for the invitation. Hello, everyone. I'm here again. My name is, can you see me now?
Yes, you're good.
All right. And yes, indeed, I'm going to talk about plant-based vegan lifestyle and how my life was changed. The name Viva la Vegan is because Viva la Vegan is like a motto, Viva la Vida, which in Spanish, it means hooray for life, I guess. The Spanish speaking, if you have a bilingual guests. So for me, no matter what in life, there was challenges or, hardships. I wanted to be very positive and very optimistic, and Viva la Vida was always my motto. The noise that you hear is here in Puerto Vallarta. It's a tropical weather now, and it's kind of a little storm here. Can you hear the lightning?
No.
Okay. Well, again, I'm an artist and a sculptor as well. I did for many years. I was, I had a gallery. I had galleries in California, and my last gallery was in Campbell, California, in the Silicon Valley area. There is where I changed my lifestyle, as per se, and it was a serendipity. In the Bay Area, Silicon Valley area, there are a lot of people from India, which brings this beautiful eating, beautiful, healthy food. Most of them are vegetarian, but also there are a lot of communities of veganists. Well, plant-based. Let's talk about plant-based. And because veganism is another thing, as per se. Plant-based style is, eating basically plants and everything that it doesn't include animal products. Whereas veganism is, we talk more about, and we are empaths to the animal suffering and also to the planet. I have some images which I would like to share with you. I also would like the people ask me questions. One of the most asked questions for a plant-based vegan lifestyle when you start is, where do you get your protein? And I want to show you all that all the protein that we consume is made by plants. The most strong or the strongest animals in the world, this planet, are vegan. And one of them is the gorilla. Can you see?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Vegan, right? And elephant, and, all of the ones that you can think that are not carnivores. And this is because I was a carnivore. I used to consume a lot of meat. I used to live in Italy, and in Florence, Italy, they prepare, which is called the bistecca alla fiorentina, which is literally a raw piece of meat, and that you eat. So I myself love to eat meat, but then I started at a very young age to become ill. For example, my knees started to hurt. But anyway, that's another story. Talking about the proteins, the protein that is created by the plants is because the animal, in this case, let's talk about beef. The animal consumes it from the plant. It's like the middleman. And then we eat the protein from the meat that was created by the plants. So you're not gonna lack if you are thinking, oh, I would love to change or to stop eating that much meat, but also because now a lot of doctors are, limiting meat to their patients because it's the cause of many illness. So they're limiting the amount or the intake of meat. So what I wanted to say is that you don't have to worry. Nobody has to worry about, because I was the one also who kind of pushed the meat to my son before he turned 18, because thanks to my son, I was exposed to this beautiful lifestyle. So I guess what I wanted to say is that nobody has to worry about, by not eating meat, they're not consuming protein, because the protein comes from a lot of plants and legumes. Legumes is the legumes are one of the most rich in protein, and I'm going to name some of them, and I'm also going to show you the images, the chart, and it's the favorite, and they're my favorites as well, the lentils, chickpeas, and quinoa. And I also wanted to say about, let's say, the greens, spinach, kale, broccoli, and all the greens that you can think. Most of them have protein. Any questions so far in here that people can have? Maybe?
No, I'm just a little surprised that the greens have a large amount of protein. Well,
Yes.
I know the legumes. So you can somebody could subsist just on greens, or do they have to have a varied amount of plant-based foods?
That's a great question, because basically it's got to be a variety of plants and, a nutrition, and well-balanced nutrition. And that's one of the things that I wanted to really recommend to the people that are interested. You should go to the Physician Committee for Responsible Medicine, and there are a lot of doctors who talk about this special tema. And yes, believe it or not, the cartoon Popeye, the Popeye?
Yeah. Mm.
Well,
the spinach.
It happened to be that it is true. Now, there are a lot of diets that are vegan diets or vegan or plant-based diets that are based on only eating raw fruit, raw vegetables. Now, the legumes you cannot eat raw. You definitely have to, we have to cook the lentils. In my case, I love to eat and I love to create. And since I was an artist, I see this new adventure, as per se, as a chef cook, that is another kind of art, and it really is. And I'm going to tell you all, I'm going to let you know that I was 47, I'm going to be almost 60, 48, I'm 47 and a half. So almost 10 years ago, at 47 and a half, because again, this was thanks to my son, that my family and I, we started with this lifestyle. I didn't know anything about plant-based veganism, nothing, but I Googled and I learned a lot. But what I wanted to say is that I myself had an ovarian cyst that was the size of a lemon. And I was ready to go and what the doctor said, to have it removed. But then when I started to do this, when I started to eat this food, when I started to literally clean myself, the next appointment that I had with my doctor, it was gone.
Oh.
So I'm myself, como se dice, I know that this is true. There's many, but I'm not a doctor. I'm not a physician that can tell you, oh, this happened. They said, many doctors, many professionals say that many of the diseases that we have now that are getting even worse, and it's not a control on them, not even, it's growing more, is because the way we eat. And do you remember what Hippocrates said?
Right.
Okay. And it is true. What else? Well, a person, let's talk about veganism and why it's so beautiful to know that you're contributing for a better world, is because, let's say, one person that eats a vegan diet or plant-based diet saves 1,100 gallons of water, okay? 40 pounds of grain, 30 feet, I have to read my notes, 30 feet of forested land, okay? 20 pounds of water equivalent, approximately, because to raise an animal to eat a hamburger is, you have to, spend a lot of water. You waste a lot of water, especially, and then also to feed the animal. And obviously, you save an animal life per day, let's say. So one of the things that made me happy knowing all of that. Now, I did this for my health, but then you start thinking about all the animals that are tortured for our satisfaction, literally, when we really don't have to consume meat to be healthy. And that's the other way around. It's, for all those meat eaters, that probably have a problem or any kind of, illness like I did. The world doesn't end here. There is a good, if you Google and then you go to all these doctors, which, can I mention them, by the way, because they have wonderful talks and they have wonderful advices for all the people that want to start a vegan lifestyle or a plant-based diet. Okay, so, well, the first that I recommend to see is Neil Barnard. Milton Mills, because Milton Mills talks about the meat and how, in a funny way, but in a really interesting way, also how our mouth, our teeth are designed to consume mostly a vegetarian or vegan diet, whereas the carnivore animals, they're literally designed to consume meat. And why? Because also their stomach and many things that I'm not capable to say all of those things right now here because, again, I am very limited. I'm not a doctor. But you can go and Google all of them. Garth Davis is also one of my favorites. And Brenda Davis as well, which is his wife. Some of the documentaries that I also highly recommend is What the Hell? The way it sounds, What the Hell?
What the hell? What the hell?
What the hell? And Forks Over Knives. And some of them are very cruel to see. I couldn't even see them. My son told me that he saw some of them, and they were done also by Paul McCartney and some other people. And it's glass walls. So what happens in the slaughterhouses? So far, you know, all I can say also is that it made my life happier because all the plants contain these hormone is a happy hormone, or well, there are 4 happy hormones in the correct me if I'm wrong, the people who probably knows or for sure knows more than me, that create the oxytocin and the dopamine to become happier. Also talk about mental illness and depression, which is right now a lot of people are suffering. Well, plants stable because the plants create this beautiful balance with your health, giving you all these hormones, the happy hormones. And what else? So far, again, and I think it's because the vegetable cell, I'm sure it's not that I say it, is a factory of life, literally. And this is what it is for me now. So far, I'm always learning more. Every day, I love to cook. I love to create new things. And as a matter of fact, I have a sample later on to share with your audience of what can be delicious and simple to make for breakfast, let's see. Because if somebody would like to start, it can be breakfast. You know, one meal a day. And for the rest, you know, it's got to be your own experience will lead you to more and more and more. That's what happened to me, and I love it. And again, it's gonna be 10 years, and I will be 40. I mean, 58. I said 48. Excuse me, 58. Hello, 58, almost 60 years old. And I feel I even have much more energy than when I was 30. You know, and
wow. Okay, so where do you source your food from? Obviously, well, not quite so obviously. Most of your plant-based foods you would like to be organic. And do you have any trouble finding organic produce?
it is. I believe it or not, I don't focus in the organic 100%, although I prefer. But some of the fruits and vegetables, you have to peel them anyway. And so I would say, although you know what, the carrots and the potatoes, beets, I like to wash them very well, but leave the skin because the skin, it's known that it contains a lot of vitamins. But the organic, I would say it would be better, but it's not necessary 100%.
Right.
And
you know,
And
we're based in the United States, and we have a lot of our agriculture is not organic. It's you know, what they call corporate farms that produce a lot of our produce. So organic is not entirely necessary, right?
Well, again, if you wash the fruits and vegetables very well, the main thing is just, you know, just rinse them very well anyway, because well, you wash them with the soap, but you have to rinse them very well. I mean, rinse it thoroughly. And a lot of, also a lot of the questions, for example, when you go to, because I have my family and my relatives and many friends are not vegan. So I go out with them, and mostly I would say, I guess 80% of the restaurants, at least here in Puerto Vallarta, they have vegan options or vegetarian options. But one of the things that it's funny is because the people think that we only eat lettuce. And there's a lot of memes that say, you know, vegans only know lettuce. And I can let you all know that everything, all the food in the world, and that's what I create. I create dishes that are international, but also Mexican, very traditional Mexican dishes. For example, birria. Birria here in Jalisco is a tradition, and birria is made with animal products. So it only, you know, you only change because the spices and the herbs and everything is the same. You only change it for for example, you can use jackfruit. Jackfruit can be a vegetable or can be a fruit. When it's raw, you know, when it's not cooked, when it's not ripened, it's a vegetable, which you can use and you can transform it as you know, it literally tastes like chicken or pork. So, for example, to create those dishes, I use basically jackfruit, but also Jamaica, the hibiscus. Many people know hibiscus tea. You know that bread, delicious bread, is very traditional Mexican too. But I also know that they're the same beverage in other countries. It's just with a pinch of other things like cinnamon. And anyway, this flour, it's the fiber you can turn into, let's say, birria or pastor. It's a very common to see here, taquitos al pastor in vegan restaurants with this flour. So everything can be made of, I want to say, all the beautiful dishes that you think of can be veganized or made with plant-based. So I love eating, you know, and I don't want to just eat salads. In fact, I eat salads, but they're not my favorite thing. Can be a contradiction, but I love to eat. For example, I make burgers, and the burgers that I make, the meat is made with lentils, cooked lentils, sprouted lentils, oatmeal, and chickpeas. So you have all the protein, all the fiber, nutrients, vitamins, amino acids, everything in there. And then you just put, you know, the buns and just lettuce and all the things that the pickles. A lot of Americans, when they come here, because Puerto Vallarta is a very touristic place, they ask the real thing, the real comfort food, per se, flavors. And you're eating super healthy. You know that you're not gonna load, and you're going to feel satisfied, and you know you're gonna be healthy. Hot dogs. You tell me one dish that is your favorite, for example.
Lasagna, meat
Oh,
lasagna.
wow, lasagna. I lived in Italy for many years, 8 years. So lasagna, one of my favorite dishes, and I love to make them with, carbonara or well, with the veggies, and the ricotta, spinach and ricotta, and the lasagna is delicious. When you come here to Mexico, one day, if you happen to be here in Puerto Vallarta, let me know. I'll make you lasagna.
Okay.
Vegan lasagna.
Yeah. Now you have a very colorful shop behind you, in the background.
Thank you.
Do you sell vegan produce and vegan grains, and or you just have gifts and recipes and
I have a
things?
book. Yes, I have books. They basically in Spanish.
Okay.
That section over there. I sell some vegan cheeses made with amaranth and chickpeas, which are delicious. I sell kombucha. Do you know what kombucha is?
I know it's a fermented drink. It's about all I know.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And it's filled with probiotics, which are great for your stomach. And I basically cook every day a different, the specialty menu is different every day, literally. But I have the basic menu, which are the comfort foods, which are hamburgers, hot dogs, tacos, quesadillas. We're in Mexico, right? Salads as well. And for breakfast, I used to make the waffles, but now I'm more into crepes, and I'm going to show you the crepes. Are you ready?
We're ready.
This is made with only quinoa. Okay, let me give you the recipe first, and it's super, super easy to make. Quinoa, put 2 cups of quinoa in water. Soak it in water, I would say for 4 to 5 hours, or the best thing, overnight. Then you take, many people rinse it. I don't like to rinse because the thing is that quinoa sometimes has a little bit of bitter flavor, but I like that, because you can put other things in your crepes, or can also be tacos, those are tortillas, and the little bit bitter flavor disappears. But at the same time, I wanted to say, so anyway, continue with the recipe. The recipe, you add water, then you blend it, and many people, if they like to contact me, I can give them some quick recipes just to start, as I said. And then you can just just as you are making crepes or pancakes with your regular flour, you're making crepes now with quinoa. Now in these ones here, can you see them?
Yes.
This one here, I blended beets.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna have to grab them with my hands. Okay. See how beautiful they are, and the smell is delicious.
Right.
And then in this one, I use turmeric. Okay. And then you can literally fill it with a spinach. How about this one with a spinach and cheese, vegan cheese, and wants to be eaten. And then you have a wonderful, absolutely wonderful breakfast, but not only breakfast, you can have it also for lunch or by itself. And it gives you everything, literally. Quinoa is one of my favorites too, as well as lentils. A really good food. Anyway, this is one of my dishes that I wanted to share with you all. And I have other ones. I have other dishes that are super easy to make, but also, they're more elaborate. per se. So here I am, Viva la Vegan.
What is vegan cheese?
The vegan cheese?
Yes, because cheese is normally from dairy.
Let me grab one of these. Can I?
Okay.
I have it here. Okay, let me take that. Okay. So this vegan cheese, can somebody see it here? It melts.
Right.
And
But
it's mozzarella flavor. Manchego, it is a cheese from Mexico. It has the name of the Mexican name. But you can create beautiful quesadillas and lasagnas. This is what I use basically. Now I'm not doing any promotion or but we can create our own cheese as well. You can create your own almond milk, oatmeal milk. I make a lot of times oatmeal milk, rice milk. So you can make your own cheeses and your own milk. But they said we shouldn't call milk, and it's a vegetable beverage per se, But anyway.
So the vegan recipes take a lot of forethought and some maybe some more preparation. Because as you said, soak your quinoa overnight, or soak it for hours ahead of time, or do a lot of other dishes require that kind of forethought?
No, well, have you someday made beans from scratch?
Right.
Well, you have to soak them in order to cook them faster, right?
Correct.
So that's basically because the quinoa also, by the way, quinoa can be used, it's a wonderful cereal, can be used as a replacement also of the rice. You don't get tired of the same thing. I eat a lot of rice. I love rice. I prefer to eat the wild rice because it's healthier. It has more fiber. But again, I would encourage all the people to go to vegan channels or there's a lot of YouTubers that create beautiful, beautiful recipes. And well, I mean, basically, like I said, everything can be veganized. Everything can. I love phoes. The Vietnamese
soups.
The soups.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Delicious vegan phoes. What else? I mean, spaghetti, pasta. You mentioned lasagna. Lasagna is one of the best dishes for me. It's just and oh, we haven't talked about tofu. Tofu, and I have to show you here because tofu. Talking about the breakfast, tofu can be. I mean, eggs can be replaced for tofu, and it's like a scrambled eggs, and it gives you a lot. And it's basically what I use as a ricotta for the lasagnas, or the bechamel. Bechamel sauce. So these are, can everybody see?
Right, the high protein plant-based foods. Okay.
No, wait, the quinoa. Here. Well, yeah, this is what I wanted to. Oh, for example, talking about vegetable beverages. This is.
Oh, okay.
And some of the foods that fight diabetes.
Right. So this is a total lifestyle change from somebody that wants to go from our typical American diet to a vegan diet. And we're possibly more restricted here. Is veganism more widespread in Mexico than it is in the United States?
Actually, no. If you have it in United States, it's more spread.
Oh, really?
You have beautiful. Can I mention some restaurants?
Absolutely.
Veggie Grill is one of my favorites. Veggie Grill, and it's a chain. And
Okay.
Trader Joe's have one. Trader Joe's is not it's a supermarket, but they have
Right.
beautiful, delicious dishes. I would say when I started, it was hard. Can you imagine the people that started like 30, 40 years ago? There was nothing. I would say, why veganism? I would say, forget about the word vegan. I would say plant-based. Why I recommend plant-based diets, lifestyle, or food, is because you're gonna feel much better. And you're going to thrive no matter your age, no matter how old you are. And no matter, if you know, I have friends that are my age and look so younger than me, so much younger than me, but they started 20, 30 years ago, you know. So, one of the things that also the plant-based lifestyle gives you is anti-aging. You say anti-aging, right?
Anti-aging. Okay. The fountain of youth.
What's that?
I said the fountain of youth.
The fountain of youth, yes. But basically, it's because you're gonna start feeling much better. All in all, it's a win-win. And why I want to talk about this is because this is basically what I talk mostly. You know, I try to encourage everyone for themselves. Forget about planet, which can't forget about the planet. Mio Dio. We shouldn't forget about the planet, you know, because if the planet disappears, we disappeared with it. Right. But at the same time, I would say, do it for yourself. It's a win-win situation for everyone involved. And if you if you or everyone watching is like I was, very carnivore. I used to love bacon. Oh my gosh, bacon. Wow. Well, you can create bacon, but without the animal and without the cholesterol and without all the toxins that they put, you know, in the animals. And I don't want to talk more about it. Right. But you know, I just love my life. Viva la vida, viva la vegan. I feel like the store itself was a serendipity. Do I have time to talk about it?
Yes, absolutely.
And without going into details, I have had a very, very difficult time in my life prior to opening this store. Very difficult. And so where I was living, I started to create this food and sharing to everyone. So I started selling, and the neighbors, you know, pasa la parola, which means word of mouth. Okay. Carla is selling this because they call me the vegan Carla la vegana, sí, la vegana is. So I started to sell, and I was literally walking on the streets carrying my little bag. Then became a bigger bag. So, but I was fit. I was, you know, walking and running, and because I used to live right in the hotel zone as well, right here actually. And it was a serendipity because I found this place, you know, just like that, out of the blue, which wasn't out of the blue because I said, okay, this is an opportunity to open this place, to open a little hole in the wall, which will be a little store, but also the opportunity for me to create food because, okay, I love to eat well and delicious, healthy and delicious. So I'm cooking for myself and then I share it to the world, right? So I said, okay, so I'm going to be creating and eating, right? Chasing all these beautiful foods. And then I'm going to have the opportunity also to sell products and to sell other things that are vegan, and I'm going to be pet friendly. But I didn't know that if I was going to be able to pay be able to pay the rent.
Right.
Because right here is again, this is a very touristic place. And but anyway, the wonderful thing is that this little place was made possible. Now, I am going to tell you a beautiful story. My dad and I were very close, but I traveled a lot when I was young. I used to travel a lot. I went to live in Italy for years, about a decade, a little bit more, because then I went. I came back to Mexico and then I went back to Italy. And then I lived in Paris for 6 months. And then I moved to Puerto Vallarta as well. So my dad, being a traditional, old-fashioned Mexican Spanish dad, for him to see his daughter going out, because he used to say to me, you're not going out of this house until you get married. But I've always been a free spirit. So I said, well, Dad, I don't want to get married right now. So, and I want to travel. Anyway, long story short, he used to call me Gaviota. Gaviota means seagull. This is what I'm wearing here.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
And he used to call me mi gaviota, mi gaviota. When he passed, I was devastated because I went to live to the United States. I got married with a Dutch man, and we went to California. So I spent 20 years there. But when he was very ill, we knew that I came to see him, but I knew that there was not going to be possible to see each other again. And so I wanted to communicate with him because I saw a program in History. I think it was Discovery Channel or History Channel with him, by the way, prior to his pass, like months before, where there was, and this was because of the power of the spiritual world, as well as the love between loved ones, right? And this chapter was I think a mother and a daughter, someone very, very related, that talked about when they pass or before, whoever passes before, they have to establish a way of communicating, knowing that they would be in a better place, still alive in spirit. And I was watching that program, that television show, that chapter with my dad. And then we knew that my dad was terminal already. But something happened, because I did say to him, Dad, I would like to communicate with you. If I pass before you, or if you pass before me, we have to communicate with each other, letting each other know that we're fine, right? And there's no death. And so what happened is that we couldn't establish a way like this people were establishing, I think with points, the way to communicate. And then he passed. And then my first thing when he passed was that, oh my God, we didn't talk about how to communicate with each other. And he's gone. Well, at that time, I was grieving my dad. And at that time, because we used to live in Carmel, California, that's where I had one of my galleries, then the Silicon Valley, Campbell. But before, prior to that, which I also had another gallery in the Sacramento area, you know that Sacramento area is very inland, so there is no ocean.
Right.
And that was devastating. I was very, very sad. And I remember we had a long driveway. We used to live in a gated community, and it was very secluded, very, very beautiful. So I remember for some reason, my husband used to take the garbage cans outside. So
Okay.
For some reason, I didn't before him. So I took the garbage cans outside. And then I was looking at the sky, and it was already getting dark. And a seagull came flying, and it stood in one of the garbage cans. So for me, I was like, oh. So it didn't click in my mind yet. And I went inside. My husband was in the couch watching TV, and I said, hey, Johan, are they seagulls here in Sacramento area? And I don't know if he was connected to the energy of my dad. The spiritual world is very powerful. And he said, no, that's your dad. Yeah. And I said, what? That's your dad. Yeah. He came to let you know that he's fine. And since then, everything is seagull. Well, this store was because of him. And I believe that was because of him, because later on, anyway, I signed the paperwork, and I get the contract, and then I said, what am I doing? Thankfully it was for the first time, it was the first contract was for 6 months. And I said, oh my God, well, okay. Little did I know is that the owner here is also the owner of one of the hotels, very famous hotel, little hotel, boutique hotel, that is called Gaviota.
Okay.
So, can you see the real? I mean, at least I saw it. At least I saw it. So I said, thank you, Dad. And this was 3 years ago. So this is my story.
Very nice. We're sort of used to stories like that, with things that are just interconnected all the time.
We are interconnected. You're right. That's a beautiful word, interconnected. Yes.
Let me ask you about a menu type thing, because I think you referenced breakfast, and what would you eat for breakfast? What would you eat for breakfast? And is breakfast going to be your biggest meal of the day?
Yes, of course. So, I brought you kind of an exotic place full of nutrients, but literally what I sell a lot here, and I consume myself for breakfast, is avocado toast.
Okay.
Avocado toast. And one of the things that are very, that I do here all the time, I was going to say famous, but it's not famous. I would say very sellable is a green juice. So basically, there's a lot of people that come early in the morning, because I have a lot of clients that work in the hotels here in the back, and they come, or in the stores as well. There are also offices that come for their, what I just said, breakfast. Avocado toast. We have beautiful avocados here in Mexico, but I'm sure in the United States as well. And and then I put also seeds, can be sesame seeds or sunflower seeds or almonds, you know, some just like that. And it's a very filling, very nutritious breakfast. And they can have also coffee with crepes as well. What else? But okay, so we're talking about people that work and basically their lunch is their biggest meal. Their, you know, it's and what I do is, you know, basically in the winter time I make a lot of soups. People love soups and salads, or soups and sandwiches, or soups and tacos. So I have kind of like combos as well. I blend right now, but I created so many. I also make ramen. For example, people love ramen with tofu and you know, like I said before, birria or taquitos al pastor, quesadillas. All of these are very very balanced foods for breakfast and for lunch. I don't do dinner though.
Okay.
For lunch also, you know, the hamburgers, hot dogs, salads, and something else. They normally, the people ask, I have like the trios, like I have 3 tacos, trio, no? Different. I have quesadillas. I have shakes as well, by the way. Sandwiches, my gosh, I forgot. Sandwiches. And the sandwiches, one of my best seller is spinach and cheese, because it goes with the, you know, with the fresh tomato, and it's endless. I also like to create the one that is like a smoked tofu I brought from United States, because I go in back and forth, the liquid smoke. But if you don't have liquid smoke, it's fine. I mean, you can make it with, you know, with just spices, and you can make the. One of the tips that I want your audience to know is that tofu it doesn't have a flavor by itself. Right. It's like a sponge, so it will taste the way you want it to taste with all the spices, and it will absorb it. You can grill it. I use a lot of olive oil and grapeseed oil. I don't use other oils, because again, like I said, I cook for myself. So my customers love it because they know that I don't use saturated fats, or, you know, they're having their whole enchilada here, the whole healthy things. And you know, I also make a lot of goodies or snacks. Like, for example, I make energy bowls, you know, and the energy bowls are, I have a lot of athletes, by the way, that come here and pick them, and as well as with the kombucha, because the kombucha, it also can be an energy drink. And the energy bowls are very easy to make for everyone that is watching it, because it can be also in between the breakfast and lunch. If you don't feel satisfied with breakfast, with a light breakfast, which is not light really, you know, if you're having a half of avocado in your toast and with other things, and plus your juice or your coffee with almonds beverage, that's a very satisfying. But these little bowls or squares, also make them in squares, are made with I have a lot of recipes. One of the ones that I like to make is with sweet potato, because sweet potato is really good for your muscles, and it has a lot of nutrients. So I cook the sweet potato, and then I mix it with, I use agave syrup instead of sugar, and I use oatmeal and seeds, almonds, cocoa, peanut butter. Sometimes I don't like to use a lot of peanut butter or those things, but anyway, it's a good thing, and everyone will like it. And I would say try it for 1 week, choosing one meal at a time, and you will see how beautiful, satisfied you are. And you will see that you know, long story short, you're gonna feel much better. Let me drink some coconut water, by the way, because I'm getting so thirsty. Cheers. Oh, coconut water we have here. Thank you, God. All right, so I don't know if you have more questions, or basically that's what I like to talk, about, and I always gonna talk, and I do some activism. I rescue animals when I can, because this business is very, you have to be literally 24/7.
Okay. I think you discuss, you usually have a very, very, very varied assortment of meals that you make. Now, I often think, should we be eating this large variety, or should we have a sort of a menu that we just stick to? We know the animals, they all eat, the largest animals in the world, they eat the same thing for their whole life. And I don't know if people should be eating a restricted diet or a very largely variety of foods.
I would say eat a variety of foods. We sometimes eat foods that are not healthy. I love to eat chips, and I love to eat the chips that they sell here on the beach, on the ocean, and they put limon and chile, and they're fried with the oil that is probably recycled so many times. But I don't always do it. I would say just to start with the things that are easy, like you were mentioned, it's not easy for you guys to find probably a lot of things that are available. I would say, or don't even think about it. Just think, instead of eating an animal product, just try to not have the animal product. But because if you think about, and this was rationalized by one of my clients. Like, they said, well, we're all vegans, Carla. I said, what do you mean? Because she still eats meat. Because we all cook vegetables, but we just have the animal. If we don't put the animal, we only eat vegetables, So I guess it's possible. Yes, it's possible. The more you do it, the easier it comes. And there's not going to be nobody that's going to be, I was going to say the vegan police. No, there's no vegan police. I used to be the vegan police, by the way, and I hated myself. I didn't like it, because I myself was, I was a carnivore. So I stopped saying, especially to my friends and family members, what to eat. No, everyone has their own time. And I would say just whatever intake you make of mostly plants and fruit, that's what you're going to be experiencing much more, especially the fiber. Because fiber, what it does, it cleans you up, literally. And you feel satisfied much rapidly. So you're not going to eat that amount of food that, especially in the United States, I mean, the amount of food, the dishes are so big. And again, I don't know all of it. I still learning, and learning from my mistakes as well, because I mean, I could eat potato chips all the time, but I know that is not good for me. So, by the way, what I like to eat every morning mostly is a banana and or an apple.
Okay.
And that's what the doctors say, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. That's
Right.
true. That
Right.
is true. So, okay.
Yeah, we like to make smoothies with apples and bananas and
Perfect.
berries and things. Can I go to the supermarket and live as a vegan for processed foods at the supermarket?
Processed food is one of the things that are, I'm so glad you mentioned it. That's a great point. Processed foods, even if they're vegan, is one of the things that you should avoid. Because processed food is, you know, they have a chemical, they have things, but you know, if you eat it sometimes, I would say it's not gonna hurt you that much. But like for example, somebody that has already a genetic illness, for example, you know, if they know that processed foods are going to create worse, you know, for them, for the worse, then I would say because there's no matter how much medicine you can take. The medicine is just to maintain you without for example, for the cholesterol down, but it has a I don't want to talk about because again, I'm not an expert, but side effects that can hurt you as well, especially your liver. Again, Google, surf the internet, and you're gonna see all these professionals that are much better to give you wonderful advice more than me. I just talk about my experience, and as well when I had my ovarian cyst, I'm proof that it went away. It went away. Thank God.
Okay. Now, most of our avocados come from Mexico.
I know.
But they come when they're still very hard, and they're not ready yet to actually. I mean, how long does it take an avocado to be useful?
To ripen?
To be soft and useful to because as I said, they're very hard. For us, and usually we'll buy them and let them sit for a week before we can actually even use them.
Wow. A week is a little bit long. I would say 3 to 4 days, but this is from the grandmas. The advice is from the grandmas. You should put it in newspaper or any kind of paper, like you know, and put it in the oven. But the oven doesn't have to be on, just in the dark and warm weather.
Okay.
But avocados are amazing. Well, and I blank right now, but there's so many things that you can. For example, what is the most eaten, the famous breakfast in the United States and including Mexico, because we have also a very intense, I would say, tradition that we also take from you guys, right? Or influence, I would say. Eggs and bacon, no?
Eggs and bacon, right.
And then we add here frijoles, black beans. Well, the frijoles are very good for you. The eggs are not. The bacon. Right. The eggs, again, I'm not an expert, but it's been said that the only animal that can eat eggs is the fox. Because it has everything in nature, everything in life, it has a purpose. So this little animal goes and controls the you know, the saturation of the living of the chickens. So they go and eat the eggs, and their stomach digests the eggs very well. They eat them completely. Whereas for us, the human, humans. Well, especially the yolk is filled with saturated fats. Filled.
Right.
Basically, it's better just to let the yolk, the yellow away and eat the whites. But bacon itself, I mean, it's just, and talking about the spirituality, the amount of suffering that it goes when they slaughter the animal, because at a scientific level, this is 100% true that even us, when we go through all these fears, and let alone what they have to go through, the torture and the horror, that's the word that I want to use, the horror, they create in their bodies I can't remember it's cortisol, I can't remember the name in English, but it's the cortisol is a very, very devastating, very toxin. And that in and of itself in the flesh still is. It's there and we eat it.
Right.
And we also eat it the horror at an energetic level, at a spiritual level. We're eating their anguish, their horror, their sadness, everything. And then you wonder why, the world is like that. Sad, and a lot of things that are going on. And, it's also said because of although the hell that we're creating for those creatures, when literally we can live without their flesh. And more and more veganism, plant-based lifestyles are becoming more popular because people know and they experience that it works. So they are starting to, I have a Facebook page, profile. Well, it became my page actually because I also post some recipes and the activism. I make a lot of activism, but from all over the world. I have invitations for vegan camp out or vegan fair and vegan this and vegan that or plant-based. And so you're literally seeing how the world is changing. In 2021, I went to Spain and Italy. I was invited to do a vegan research. And I saw with my own eyes, Italy probably less, but in Spain, the veganism has grown. I mean, has probably quadrupled. How do you say close to quadruple?
Right. Okay. Tripled.
More.
Quadrupled. 4 times, 5 times.
More
Right.
than any country in the world, at least in 2021. And I happened to visit wonderful stores, and one after the other one, literally in one block in Valencia, also in Barcelona, but in Valencia, I mean, and also schools, that teach you how to cook vegan, plant-based. So I would say little, but for sure, what do you say? Like slowly but surely, we're getting there. And also because our planet needs it, literally. Our planet. I gotta show you these. I don't know if I showed you before.
Veganism is the single biggest way to reduce your environmental impact on the planet. Absolutely. Yep.
I have this book here. So, well, this is in English and Spanish, so my customers can see as well as recipes, some of the recipes while I'm cooking for them and specializing their orders. And what I want to do is later on, I'm going to get a smart TV to, play all these wonderful documentaries because they're eye openers. Okay.
Okay. Now, And what is the name of your shop?
Viva la Vegan. Oh, Viva la
okay.
Vegan.
All right. Viva la Vegan. Okay, very good.
So no matter what, Viva la Vida, right? Viva la Vegan.
Right.
And again, if they want to, probably if they want to see my posts and, you know, be part of this plant-based thingy, they can send me an invitation to Carla Almanza. And just, you know, click on them. They were friends and they can see what I post, and they can also be linked to other beautiful vegan people. Okay.
And your shop is now very, very successful, right? You have a large clientele.
Thank you. I would say yes. There's thanks to the locals. God bless
Right.
them all, because the tourism here is just from November, late October until May. You know, it's really, Vallarta is full. Canadians, Europeans, Americans, Russians, I mean, from all over the world. But here, what I say, well, I'm very successful. What I say is that I'm thankful and blessed that my clients, especially the local clients, like my dishes, and that's, you know, thanks to God and my dad, because yeah, it's just a little hole in the wall, but I have had great reviews, and you know, people like it.
It's a very important hole in the wall.
Yes,
Very important.
and here I am, and right now is the time when it's really hot, but it's also the rainy season. So like the monsoon, we have hurricanes as well here, but not until October, I believe.
Okay, very good.
But for the other months of the year, Puerto Vallarta is a paradise. So you and your audience, they're invited. You're invited.
Thank you for that invitation. Thank you. I know you're going to be joining Ernie and Adriana at some point to do the presentation in Spanish.
Okay.
So that would be interesting, and probably, I don't know, you may be a little more comfortable in Spanish. So we want to thank you for this presentation. It was very enjoyable, very informative. You know, it's something we look forward to it. So it's very nice. And to everyone else listening, we will have a presentation next Tuesday at 7 p.m. And thank you for attending. And thank you, Carla. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ernie. God bless you guys.
Yep.
Ciao.